Good morning. We are in Masechet Pesahim Lamed Tet. Good morning, Mikal. You're with us? Okay, we are in Amoud Yomi Dirshu. We are at the Mishnah. We're going on to Maror. We spoke about Matzah. We're going on to Maror. Today's a very technical daf, and Chaim is going to help me with a few words. I have it also here, but you can help. Enu yirakot shadam yotze ben yedei chovato bepesach.
Sorry, Rabbi, which page?
Lamed Tet Amud Aleph. Here are the vegetables that a person will be yoitze to eat maror. You have a mitzvah from the Torah in the time of the Beit Mikdash to eat matzah maror. Today we have only a derabanan to eat maror, but we have to know what is the type of vegetable that you're allowed to eat maror. So these are the ones you're allowed to eat to. Chazeret, and chazeret I think it means lettuce. We're going to see in a second. Chazeret, they're all going to be discussed in the Gemara. V'char vinya, chavinya, ubi ulshin. Another type of vegetable. Ubi maror. And another one which is called maror. Endives? Very nice. We're going to see them in the Gemara. The Gemara is going to discuss each one with them. Huh?
There was tamcha.
I missed tamcha? Yeah. Oh, tamcha, beharba nanaya, ubi ulshin maror. Yotzin ben nachim ben yevashim. So whether they are dry or they are moist, whether they're wet or whether they're dry, you're yotze either way. Avalok vushin. But if you marinate them in vinegar, like you have the variant, it's not kosher to eat it's not kosher for maror. V'no shlukin. Sometimes you cook them to the point where they're just like a little bit of a soup, like a little bit mush. That's not kosher as well. V'no mivushanin, and you cannot cook them. They need to be raw. They can't be cooked in water. Umitztarfin likazait, v'mitztarfin likazait. So also you're yoitze with the kazait. That means mitztarfin likazait means if I have a little bit of a potato, a little bit of endive, I can put them together. I need to get a kazait, but it doesn't have to be the kazait of the same vegetable.
You can mix and match.
So,
You
can mix and match. There we go. And if you have a stalk, for example, you're allowed to use the stalk. Let's say for the lettuce, it doesn't have to be the leaf only. You could eat the stalk. That's kosher as well.
Any piece of it.
Any piece of it, exactly. Ubidamai. Damai, you can also do damai. Maybe we spoke last time. Maybe you guys weren't here. But what is damai? Damai is anything you take from an amaretz. We are scared that the amaretz didn't give maser. You gotta give truma. Everybody gives truma. People are scared not to give truma, but maser, people are scared not to give it. People are not scared not to give it because it's not the same punishment. And many people, some people, a minority, don't give maser. So let's say if I buy from a person shmerel, he's an amaretz. I buy from him wheat or vegetables. I gotta give, and even by the way, maser on vegetables is only the rabbanan. If I buy from him the mai, and anyways the rabbanan, maybe he probably did it, but maybe not. In general, I can't eat it until I tithe it again. I got to take the maser again. But here there is a little bit of leniency when it comes to damai on the maror. When it's a derabanan like it is now, you're yoitze. So if you bought it, took it from the amaretz, you didn't give maser, you ate your vegetable from that, it is kosher. Ubi maser rishon shenitna trumato. Okay, maser rishon shenitna trumato. This we spoke last time. What it's going to speak of the Gemara is that don't forget that the Kohen gets first. And then the Levi. Let's say the Levi's, now, you only have to give to the Kohen when it is in a pile. When it gets, in other words, when I'm a farmer and I harvest everything, when do I have the chiyuv of giving truma and maser? It only when I finished all of the job involved in harvesting it, and now it's ready to go, ready to store, ready to sell, and that's called the keri, that's called the pile. Before that state, I don't have to give anything. I'm allowed to eat in it, I'm allowed to eat, and I'm allowed to continue. So now, if it's in a pile, for sure I have to give to the Kohen first and then the Levi. But let's say it's not in the pile yet. There is a loophole that the Levi could come, tell the guy, listen, give me first my stuff. He gets his truma, he gets his meiser, and then it's done. He bypassed the Kohen. He's not supposed to, but it does work. And then if he has to give, by the way, 10%. So a Levi that gets 10, whatever he gets, Levi, you're going to be a Levi. You're going to get what you get. You got to give 10% to the Kohen as well. So that would be Yotze also from Maror. And then we have Maser Sheni ve'Hekdesh Nifdu. Maser Sheni is food that I need to eat in Jerusalem during the 3 times a year. It's a produce that I have that I bring myself. And Hekdesh is something I gave to the Beit Mikdash. Both of these items I'm allowed to redeem them. That means, let's say I give an item to the Beit Mikdash. I give this box of lettuce to the Beit Mikdash. It's owned by the Beit Mikdash. I could do it in my house. I could designate this box of lettuce is owned by the Beit Mikdash. It's my donation. If I want to redeem it, I'm allowed to. I give $125. It's worth $100. I give $100 for the face value. I give $25 for the extra chomesh. I take it back, and now it's mine. And if I did that, I'm allowed to eat. I'm allowed to use that for maror. That's all. We're going to discuss those a little bit more in the Gemara. Okay, the Gemara is going to go a little technical now, so I need the help of Chaim. The Gemara says, Chazeret chasa. So what is chazeret? Chazeret is chasa. And chasa
Lettuce.
What is chasa? It's lettuce, right? Seems to be lettuce.
And widely
Ulshin.
accepted to use romaine lettuce.
What does it say over here?
It's lettuce and widely accepted to use romaine lettuce.
Very nice. Romaine lettuce. Very good. What is so? Nes ulshin is hin divi. What is hin divi?
Endive.
Endive.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Endive.
Which is what?
Krespelach.
What is that?
Look at God Tzionim is bringing Bilshon
And
Sfarad.
Yeah, endive. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and those are shikar.
the same word.
So it's called
Endives.
Endive, yeah.
endives. Very good.
It's very
Hickory. Okay, endives. Very nice. Tamcha. Amar. What is tamcha? Amar Bachana. Tamchata. Tamchata shema. What is tamchata? You have something over there?
He has.
And Maravis, horehound. It's a mint plant with a white cottony covering its stems and leaves.
What do you call it?
Horseradish.
Oh,
Horseradish.
Oh,
C'est ce
ok.
que le réfort.
Okay.
Le réfort ou c'est
C'est le
le.
réfort.
So there's two
Et
things.
Réfort.
Il y a des briskets qui mangent un casaille de réfort.
Wow. Okay.
Tu les vois, ils deviennent comme
Har Havina. What is Har Havina? Amarish da Ben Shimon ben Gashish Atzvata. Didikla. So it's a little bit of a vine of a palm tree. Ubi maror, and you're allowed to use maror as well. What is maror? It is merira. So maror is merira. Number 15. What do you have over there for maror?
Bitter leaves.
Bitter leaves.
Wormwood.
Wormwood?
Warm wood.
Wormwood.
Wild
Wormwood.
lettuce.
Ah, wormwood.
Okay, it's called wild lettuce.
It's a gin. Yeah.
Okay. The Gemara says, Tani Baka. So this was the first bite, okay? Tani Baka Bara. Eru yarakot shadam yotze ben yedei chovato. Here's a Bar Kapara is also going to tell you which things are yotze if you eat on Pesach. But what are they? Ulshin. So we said that they're endives. Tamcha. Bechar chenin. Bechar chavinin. Bechazirin. So chazirin is also chazeret. Okay, so you have all these things over here. You're yotze with them. Rav Yudah mer af ulshin sadeh veulshin gina bechazeret. So Rav Yudah is going to say also ulshe sadeh and ulshe gina bechazeret. So he's adding over here not only regular ulshin, which is a regular gina. When you plant your endives, you plant it in a garden. But also if it's wild ulshin, you're also, and that's called ulshe sadeh vechazeret. The Gemara says ulshe gina bechazeret hatana. So why is Rav Yudah adding? Meaning in Tana, Bar Kapara said you're yotze with ulshin, and you're yotze also with chazeret. Why does Rav Yudah need to add those? So the Gemara says, Hatana neresha, achi kamar, af ulshi sadeh, ki ulshi gina, vechazeret. So it's all one thing, seems to be over here, that ulshi sadeh and ulshi gina are the same. You might have thought that's two different types of endives. One is when you grow it in a controlled setting, and when it's grown in a wild setting, you might have two different types of species. It's the same species, whether you take an endive over here or endive over here, everything is kosher. We're just going through all the things. Rabbi Meir Omer, af asvas vetura umar yirur. So you have these things as well. Help me out, Chaim, what these are. Asvas, you're yotze with asvas, you're yotze with tura, and mar yeruar.
It just says these are various vegetables that by Rashi known in Talmudic times.
Okay, different types of vegetables as well.
Don't exist anymore.
Amar Rav Yossi, asvas vetura echatu. So really they're both the same thing. So you're giving two different names, but they're really the same. Umar, and it's bitter. Zehu yiruar, umaru zeyurar.
No, it's a different one.
So read it again. Echatu, umar, zehu yiruar. So we said over here whatever is called mar.
Non, peut-être que Mar il dit que c'est Yomi.
Ça, c'est du.
No, mar means bitter over here.
Ouais.
Yeah, there's even a tikkun to.
This is Rabbi Yossi responds to Rav Meir that Marzehu Yeroah, meaning they are one and the same, not two different species.
Umar ze. No, the species which is called mar is called yeruar. So mar, by the way, in the notes he gives another version. But mar is yeruar. Okay. Tane deber b'shmuel. Elu yirakot she'adam yotze b'hem yechavato b'Pesach. So Rabbi Shmuel is also going to say, what do you yotze with Pesach when you want to eat it? Chazeret, ulshin, tamcha, char vinin, char ginin, behar dufnin. So he brings all these. Rabbi Yudah Omer, af chazeret, yulin, v'chazeret ginin. What are these different types of chazerets? You have something over there?
Savet.
So for Chazeret Galin is it's a form of Chazeret that carries an accompanying title. Amoud writes that this is a bitter form of lettuce which grows wild in the field.
Okay, so different types of ones that grow in the field. כיוצא בהן, רבי אלי אומר, משום רבי אליעזר, אף אר קבלים. יוצא with אר קבלים. What's אר קבלים?
A large, thick ivy that creeps around the trunk of a date palm.
Ivy that goes around the date tree. V'chazarti, so who said that? So Rabbi Eli says, in the name of Rabbi Eliezer, you're yotzi with this called ar kablim. Ar kablim is the ivy that goes around the date tree. And it says over here that, who's saying that? Rabbi Yehuda said that. And he says, v'chazarti al kol tamidav bikashti lichaber. I'm sorry, Rabbi Eli says that. And I went to all the students of Rabbi Eliezer to see if they also heard that from the Rebbe. V'lo matzati, and I didn't find anybody that concurs with that. Shebati lifnei Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, odan dvarai. And when it came to Rabbi Eliezer, I see yes, Rabbi Eliezer also said that. So it can be yotze with this sieve of a dekel, this ivy of a dekel. Rabbi Eliezer said yes. One Talmud said that he heard it. Nobody else heard it, but then Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov heard it as well.
Who's Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Rabbi Eliezer?
It's a Talmud of Rabbi Eliezer.
Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov?
Yes.
Rabbi Eliezer ben Onkanos, that this one is the Talmud of his.
It seems to be, yeah. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, kol sheyesh lo seraf. Okay, so Rabbi Yehuda says, you want to know with your yotze, if you cut the vegetable, if it comes out a little bit of a sap from it, seraf, a little bit of sap comes out from a little bit of sap comes out. When you cut a vegetable, a little bit of like white liquid comes out of it, so then it's yotze for maro. Rabbi Yochanan ben Bruka Omer, kol shepanav machsifin. So if the color of it is not a dark green, it's a little bit white. That's I think what it means over here. So if you have a dark green vegetable, you'll not be yotze. If it's a little bit of a light green, then you're yotze.
What would be a dark green? What does that mean?
Like a spinach.
Spinach, you're not yotze.
A spinach, you're not yotze.
Wow.
So it has to be a light green, and it has to be something that gives a sap, like a little bit of liquid that comes out when you cut it.
What's the difference between the light and the light? And
All this is, they're not giving tamim over here.
I
There's
think
no.
that the reason is that
not
the
as-
light green is a little more bitter.
It's not as bitter.
Oh yes, you're right. You're going to see right now. The Gemara is going to say that all these are bitter. Look what it says over here. Achirim omrim kol yerek mar yesh lo sraf. Exactly. V'pana machsifin. Exactly what the Ilan just said. Bitter items, which is called mar. It has to be mar a little bit. Bitter foods are not so green, and they have a little bit of sap coming out.
But you know, so what separates the two is that the dudim, they don't go into the bitter ones. That's why it's much easier to use a bitter herb than to use one that's not. So spinach, for example, is actually kind of sweet.
Okay.
So anything dark attracts the dudim. Anything
What's
light,
dudim?
The bets,
The worms.
Oh,
Yeah,
bugs.
yeah,
anything that we have to
exactly.
clean before we eat them, right? So that's what we use endives. First of all, they're bitter, and any vegetable that's bitter usually has no dudim in there.
Okay, that's good to know.
Non,
So
ma
here,
ça, il faisait avec des endives.
really?
Quoi?
Il faisait avec les endives. Wow.
So Achirim is saying, Achirim is Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir is saying that anything that is bitter actually is not so green and has a little bit of sap that's coming out of it. Amar Yochanan, midivrei kulan nilmad. Now, if you analyze everything we've seen till now, meaning all the different opinions of vegetables, if you look for the common denominator between them, says Rabbi Yochanan, midivrei kulan nilmad yerek mar yesh lo sraf. If you analyze all of these, if they're bitter, they have a little bit of a sap, upana marsifin, and they're not so green. They're a little bit white-faced. You know, when a person's embarrassed, it becomes white. So the green is a little bit marsif. It comes a little bit white. Amar Rav Huna, halacha ke'achirim, and this in fact is the halacha. The halacha follows like achirim, and that means that if it's a little bit bitter, then you're good to go. Ravina ishkache de Ravacha bered Rava. So Ravina once found Ravacha that was the Abba Me'ader Ameririta. He was looking for the type of food which is called Meririta. He was looking only for that. Amar le maidatich de meririn tfei. Why are you looking for that? Because it's called maror. Some want to explain because it's more bitter. You're looking for that. V'achazeret tnan. At the beginning of our Mishnah, the first thing you said you're allowed to be in our Mishnah when it counts all the things, it says chazeret. V'tane de beribishman chazeret. V'amar b'Yoshia mitzvah b'chazeret. Why are you looking for meririta? You know, chazeret, you think it's better than because the name is meririta, and you think it's better because maybe it's very bitter. In the list of in the Mishnayot, every time we started with something, we started with chazeret. So why are you going for that? V'amar Rava, my chazeret, chasa. What is chazeret? It's called chasa, it's lettuce. Umay chasa, de chas rechamana. You know why it's called chasa? Because Hashem had pity. Hashem had mercy on us. Chas is mercy. So Chas Rahamana Iravan. Hashem had mercy on us. Why are the Egyptians considered or equated to the mashal that we give them to explain them is like maror? Do you know that the maror, it seems to be that the lettuce, the stalk, becomes very hard after a while if you don't.
Non, les halim ils sont très raqués, mais l'intérieur il est dur.
But look what it says here. What's trilato?
Le top en fait.
Oh yeah, that's what you learn. Vesofo caché.
Ouais, tu vas vers la racine, ça
Le
doit être
tronc,
dur.
il y a
Plus tu vas vers la racine, et plus c'est dur.
I'm looking at Rashi. Maro sofo caché. Akelach shelo mitkaché ke'etz.
Tu vas plus vers la racine, il devient dur. Tu prends le tronc de la laitue,
C'est
c'est dur.
Oh yeah, it's very very hard. Let me check that 1 second.
Yeah, even the endives, the endives, you have the leaves, but the tronc is hard.
What happened? Okay, I'll accept that. Av Mitzrim tchilatan rakav sofan kasher. The same with the Mitzrim. At the beginning, they were very soft with the Jews, and then they were very hard. You know, at the beginning, what they did is they said, "Come work, and we're going to pay you." When they brought the Jews to build Pitom and Ramses, first it was a payment. Come and you're going to pay it every day for your work, and at the end, they turned them into slaves. So the same way that the top is soft and the bottom, the inside is hard. So that's why we're using the chasa. Amari had ribi. So whoever was Ravacha that was looking only to find merira, I said, okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to go with chasa also. Maybe that's why the minhag is that many people use chasa. They use lettuce for the malach because the Gemara says the language of chas. Hashem had pity on us, and it's also representing how they were tricky, the Mitzri. Amari Rav Rechumi Abayi Mimayda Maror Yerik. Why do you say when Chachamim said you have to use maro? Why is it definitely? Why are you saying it's a vegetable? Min yeriku. Ema mirita de kufya. It seems to be there's a certain fish and it has a certain part of its body which is very bitter. So maybe we're going to eat a bitter fish.
You're right, because if you think about Ashkenazim, use horseradish, and it's on red. It's not. That's where they get it from.
One
No.
of them is,
It's a vegetable. One of the things we said is horseradish. Refo, we said. Dumya de matzah. So maybe when Torah tells us you got to eat something bitter, maybe it's a bitter fish. The Gemara says Dumya de matzah. No, since it's written in matzah, on matzah mirorim yochlu, you got to eat matzah and maror together. So matzah is gidurei karka, maror gidurei karka. So we have to have something that's growing from the ground, and fish is not growing from the ground. Veima hirduf. So maybe it should be hirduf. Hirduf is, I'm looking at Rashi, etz shemtik bo Moshe memara. There was a very, very bitter type of tree, and Moshe Rabbeinu used that tree when they got to a place of Mara where the water was bitter, and Moshe threw it inside and it became bitter. And the miracle was there that bitter and bitter made sweet. So maybe you can use this, it's very bitter as well. Answers the Gemara, Dumya de matzah. Ma matzah means zraim. So we eliminated fish because it doesn't grow from the ground. Matzah goes from the ground. Okay, have tree goes from the ground. No, because you have that matzah is from grains, zraim. You plant them with a seed. Tree is not planted with seed. Maror means zraim. So got to be also the mara needs to be zraim as well. Ve'ema hirzifu. Hirzifu is something else, which is a type of seed which is very, very bitter, and it is actually very deadly to the animals. If an animal eats, it's okay for a human, it seems to be, but it's deadly for a person. So here we have a seed which is bitter. The Gemara says, Dumya de matzah, ma matzah nikachat bekesem maser, amaro shenikach bekesem maser. You know that in order to buy, when you live in Haifa and you have a field and you cut all your stuff and you're supposed to bring part of it to Jerusalem for Maser Sheni, and you're supposed to eat it there. If you don't want to bring it to Jerusalem, you're allowed to sell it, take the money and then buy in Jerusalem. What are you allowed to buy in Jerusalem? Any food. But it has to be specific food. This is not considered a food that you should buy in Jerusalem. It's like a poison for animals. Okay, maybe it's edible, but it's not called a food. You wouldn't be allowed to buy in Maser Sheni. So since matzah can be bought with Maser Sheni, so Mara has to also be able to be bought with Maser Sheni, and this item cannot be bought with Maser Sheni. Therefore, we revert back to it's definitely a vegetable. Amali Rabbi Ravchani Nabai. Ema maror chad merumin. Ema maror chad. Why are you saying that we have 10 different types of vegetables, 10 different types of possibilities over here? You just gave me 15 different types of maror. Maybe it's one. Maror is one. The Gemara says merurim kitiv. The pasuk says on maratza or merurim yochlu. So merurim is plural. So we see from here they can have a lot of different types of vegetables. Veima mirurim trei. So maybe it could only be two. plural of two. The minimum of plural is two. Dumya de matzah. Ma matzah minyan arbe, af maror minyan arbe. So the same is. So af the maror will be with minin arbe. So the same way that you can have matzah with many different types of wheats. You have over there 5 we counted last time. So also with maror you can have many different types. So we're going to go into something else now. So I think we're not going to do it now. We'll see you tomorrow. Bezrat Hashem. Chazak Baruch.
What do you want